It's all yours.
Thank you. Good morning. Bud Schindler, Brennan, Senator of the University. The purpose of my statement is to appeal to this commission actions by DCD regarding a building permit and shoreline exemption to do emergency repair work to the shoreline bank on my property. This past winter, I sustained significant damage to the bank on my shoreline property. In early March, I went to DCD to get advice on what to do, and they advised me to get a geotech report. In late March, I got the geotech on the site and recommended that because my home was located only 24 feet from the edge of the bank, a very steep bank, and that because the risk of further damage is likely, he recommended that I pursue an emergency permit to stabilize the slope from further erosion. I submitted my report on May 14th. I have an MLA number. This permit was granted on July 31st. The engineering of this activity is underway, and hopefully I'll have time to do some repair work before the rains start. However, the permit cited that the subject shoreline area is a fish and wildlife conservation area for the critical area ordinance. And that the completion of my effort will require both a habitat management plan and a bald eagle management plan. The estimated cost of the habitat management plan, I went out and looked, is $2,000 to $2,500. In the meantime, on July 31st, Washington Supreme Court ruled that critical areas within the jurisdiction of the Shoreline Management Act shall be governed by Shoreline Master Program rather than the Growth Management Act and critical area ordinances. I have a press release in here on that. DCD's response to my request to waive their request for a habitat management plan was that because my application was submitted on May 14th prior to the Supreme Court ruling, I would be vested under the code in effect at that time. However, after reviewing the Washington State vesting rights doctrine, I found that they pertain to appeals from hearings boards and not Supreme Court rulings. Also to be taken into account is the fact that vesting rights gives the private landowner the right to choose a direction, whether he a prior ordinance or to stay with a current ruling. That's an important factor here. Both of these findings, based on these findings, I appeal the ruling of DCD that I comply with the requirements of the critical area ordinance, and more importantly, I choose to comply with the ruling of the Washington State Supreme Court. Right here.